Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. We're hosting this Veteran Town Hall to offer you information about enrollment into the VA and the benefits that are afforded to you through your service. I'm Jim McLean. I'm the director at the Milwaukee VA Medical Center. I'm also a veteran. I served 20 years in the United States Army, retired in 2007, and had the fortune to become a VA employee so I can continue serving our nation's heroes. With me tonight, I have some subject matter experts who will be able to talk about enrollment and other benefits. So, Stephen, please.
Good evening. My name is Steve Westfall. I am the Public Contact Team Supervisor at the Milwaukee VA Regional Office. I'm also a veteran, combat veteran with the United States Marine Corps back in 2004. I have a long history with the Milwaukee VA Regional Office. Like I said, I'm also a veteran. I have substantial knowledge on both the compensation and pension side of the world, and well, now I'm enrolled with VA Medical Center Healthcare. So, I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate it.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Briggs, and I am the Program Manager for Benefits Management at the Milwaukee VA Medical Center. I'm also prior enlisted. I served in the United States Navy, and I've been receiving my care here at the Milwaukee VA since 2005.
Thank you, Stephen and Taylor. And first of all, I want to acknowledge that when someone comes out of the military or has been out for a while, they may not know how to enroll or what the process is or if they're even eligible. So it's really important for us to provide you some of the information here in regards to your benefits in recognition of your service. It's normal for anyone who is interested in receiving VA care and benefits to have a lot of questions, and the process may seem overwhelming, but there are a lot of individuals and a lot of organizations that are here to help. You may feel as if you aren't eligible or that you don't need the service now, but enrollment is not time limited in terms of those benefits that you receive. Enrolling now affords you with those benefits when you may need them in 10 to 15 years. Also, the cost for VA health care to our veterans is considerably less than if they go through private health insurance or other venues for their care and services. Let me talk a little bit about the different sites of care for us here at the Milwaukee VA Medical Center. First of all, we have our main campus, which is located on National Avenue in the heart of Milwaukee. This is a very large hospital. We are one of the highest complexity hospitals within the VA. We afford a vast array of services. And one of the great things about the care that we deliver through Milwaukee is that many of our providers are the same providers who work at the Medical College of Wisconsin and Froedtert Medical. So the high quality of care that's delivered there is the same care that's delivered at Milwaukee. We also have 5 community-based outpatient clinics throughout Northeast Wisconsin. Our largest is the Milo C. Hefner VA Clinic in Green Bay, then our John H. Bradley VA Clinic in Appleton. That's named after John H. Bradley, who was one of the members of the team that raised the flag over Iwo Jima during World War II. We have our Cleveland VA Clinic, that's not in Cleveland, Ohio, but in Cleveland, Wisconsin. Our Union Grove VA Clinic, which is located on the Wisconsin Union Grove campus, along with a number of other services provided by the state of Wisconsin. And then finally, our newest clinic, which is the Oconomowoc VA Clinic in Oconomowoc. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to provide you a firsthand view of someone who receives their care through the Oconomowoc VA Clinic.
My name is Katie. I'm a public affairs specialist at the Milwaukee VA. I've been working here for a little more than 2 years now. But more importantly, I'm an Army veteran. I joined the Wisconsin Army National Guard in 2006. I enlisted as a truck driver. I served in that role for 6 years, and then in 2012 I reclassed and I became a public affairs specialist. I've had 3 tours in a public affairs capacity as a soldier. I deployed to Iraq in 2016. I also served in the Wisconsin Army National Guard supporting COVID response efforts. And then I deployed to Djibouti, Africa from 2022 to 2023. And it was after that that I began working at the VA. Before I left Iraq, we had to do a Soldier for Life transition program, assistance program. And part of that involved creating a premium account for My Healthy Vet. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but we all created our accounts, and that was part of the transition assistance program. After the deployment, we had a Yellow Ribbon program, which is a weekend that was used to explain all the benefits that you've earned or are entitled to based on your deployment. As part of that, there was a VA rep there. And I remember we had a unique breakout as well, where all the female veterans were pulled aside into a separate room to talk specifically about healthcare for female veterans, which is something I really hadn't thought about in my service. I don't think about the needs of women compared to men. In my service, it was we're all one team and we're all doing the same thing, and don't necessarily think of the unique needs that come along with that. I remember oftentimes I would talk to my primary care provider, and she would tell me, she would ask me why I wasn't getting disability or why they weren't service connected in the system. And at the time, I made excuses. I said, I'm still in the service. I'm going to wait until I'm out of service to file a disability claim, and I don't want it to impact my career. And a lot of people think that it's going to impact your career, but I was really wrong about that. It would have been better. I missed out on a lot of benefits early on that I could have had. One of the things that I've learned at the VA is there is so much more that the VA offers than I think any of us know. I'm constantly surprised to learn about the programs that are offered, or the treatments, or the cutting edge technology, or just simple ways to connect and do things or get care that I would never have known about. I think one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't apply for the benefits that I had earned sooner. I am still serving in the Wisconsin Army National Guard. I've been in for over 19 years, and I'm using actively all the benefits that I've been afforded through my service. A lot has changed since I initially enrolled in VA healthcare. My last deployment, after I got back in 2023, the VA actually called me and contacted me to see if I was enrolled in healthcare, to see if I was getting benefits, to see if there was ways that they could help me that maybe I hadn't tapped into before. So working at the VA, I was very familiar with the Oconomowoc clinic, and I was very involved in the opening of the clinic. When I went to Oconomowoc and I had my first primary care appointment, I was very impressed with the care team there on top of it. My doctor did not make me feel rushed at all. I was able to bring up anything that I wanted to and address any issues that may have been lingering, while also talking about stuff from my previous deployments that may not have been covered. As part of my follow-on care, I was able to meet with a mental health provider in Oconomowoc. I was able to access resources. I joined a virtual group for depression and other mental health issues, and I was able to get care that really was tailored to my needs. The care is so much more personalized here, and I'm not rushed. I'm not in an environment where they got to get through so many patients. Here, the time is allocated to me. I'm able to still serve while receiving my benefits, while getting the care I need, and it's a sign of strength, and it shows that I am working through things to be the best version of me, and I also encourage my soldiers to be the best versions of themselves, so I need to lead by example.
So, as I said, it's our newest clinic. Oconomowoc is located in a phenomenal area. And just as a reminder, there's a lot of construction that's going to be going on or is going on I-94. So for those of you who may be interested or who want to enroll in the VA and live in that area, this certainly makes it easy for you to receive your care within the Oconomowoc clinic without having to be challenged by the I-94 construction. Now, there are a lot of myths about enrollment within VA. So, Taylor, can you talk about a few of those myths? And
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to, Mr. McLean. So one of the main myths we have that we hear a lot from veterans enrolling for care is that they didn't serve in combat, they weren't injured in service, so they're not eligible for VA health benefits, and that's just not true. If you served in the military, even during peacetime, and you separated under conditions other than dishonorable, there's a great likelihood that you're going to be eligible for VA health care. Another popular one we hear is that, I don't want to go to the VA because I want to save those appointments for those who really need it, or the VA system's, overwhelmed with, things of that nature. And really, we receive funding based on the amount of veterans we serve. So by enrolling in VA care, you're actually expanding access for veterans. Another common myth we hear is that, I have a service-connected rating so that I'm already enrolled in VA healthcare. And disability benefits do not automatically enroll you in VA healthcare. So you still have to apply, or you still have to enroll yourself for VA healthcare.
thank you, Taylor. Now, when you choose VA, you may ask, well, what does that mean for me? What services am I going to receive? As I said before, we provide comprehensive health care services, and we are addressing not only your immediate medical needs, but we also work hard to keep you healthy. Even if you don't need this care right now, just remember, we are here for you in the future. So, when I talk about comprehensive medical care, that's from the very beginning, when you're completely healthy, to your basic healthcare needs through primary care, and then any specialty care that you need into the future. You do not have to have any sort of insurance to receive care from us. Now, can you keep your private insurance? Absolutely. We also provide vision and hearing care. That's not a separate insurance as many of you would have if you receive that through the private sector, but it's part of your VA benefits. We're very proud of our mental health and whole health services, whether it's addressing immediate needs or simply keeping our veterans healthy into the future. The VA also has the largest mental health care service across the country, and we provide service that specifically addresses veteran mental health needs. And many of our mental health providers are veterans themselves. They've been there where you've been. So some of the things that we provide, whether it's here in Zablocki or across the country, because your VA care is portable throughout the country, we provide urgent care access across 3,000 locations nationwide. And through our community care services, that may mean that you are traveling or you need to seek urgent care services, and we contract through a number of commercial facilities to provide those services to you when you need them. We also have an extensive virtual care network, whether it's primary care, specialty care, mental health, and I'll share with you, I've even had a virtual physical therapy clinic myself. Our prescription service is second to none. We have a large formulary, and we provide both mail order and in-person services. If you need prescriptions and you aren't near a VA facility, you can reach out and engage with your team, who can either arrange for you to receive those prescriptions through the mail, or they may be able to arrange for you to pick up an intermediate dosage for that through a local commercial pharmacy. And we also have a number of other online applications to include My Healthy Vet, but we also have services such as the Vet Text program that provides you with information about upcoming town halls or your upcoming appointments, so it's services made easy for you. So what makes us different? We provide travel reimbursement for eligible veterans to get to and from their care. This may mean a reimbursement for mileage, or for veterans who can't drive and who are eligible, we actually pay for a service to come and get you and bring you to the facility and take you home. That is second to none in the country. It's easy for you to check in. either with your VA ID or through the app as well. That text will allow you to check in directly into your clinic as you approach the time of your appointment. For services we can't provide through the VA or through one of our facilities, we offer community care. That may be in a situation where it's just too far for you to travel, or in those circumstances where you need care and we can't provide it because of the special nature of it, we're able to work with our community partners to ensure you receive that care and we pay for it, not you. And then last, dental care. We provide some of the most comprehensive dental care services for those who are eligible across the country. We have a great dental care team, and we are aligned as an academic medical facility, so we're not only providing that care to our veterans, but we're ensuring that we train the next generation of dentists in our community. Speaking of community care, let's take a look at this next video, which talks about the Community Care Network and the Community Care Program and what you can expect to receive if you need community care.
My name is Tony Dentis. I'm a lead program support assistant with the Community Care Department, and I'm also a United States Air Force veteran. I was a lab tech in the Air Force. First permanent duty station was in Okinawa. Ended up deploying with our civil engineering unit in 2005 to Baghdad. Came back to Okinawa and attempted to cross-train, but was told I was in a critically manned career field, and at that point became a civilian. I actually did not know about community care as an option for care until I started working in the department. So community care is a supplemental program that allows vets to get care outside the VA when it's not readily available due to time or distance at the VA, or if your provider determines it's in your best medical interest. So to access community care, you first need to be enrolled in the VA healthcare system, and then speak to your primary care provider about entering a consult. If for whatever reason the VA cannot facilitate the consult and you're deemed eligible for community care, the consult would then be processed by that department and you would be sent outside the VA for the care needed. After a referral is received, community care would contact the veteran and establish an agreed upon provider that is both in network and within an agreed upon distance of the veteran's home or work or location of their choosing. Then community care would obtain the records after the appointment to ensure that the VA staff gets all of the records from the care. A veteran can be eligible for community care if the closest VA location is not within the acceptable distance or the appointment is not available within a timely fashion. In addition, if your VA provider determines it's in your best medical interest to receive the care outside the VA, that eligibility can also be utilized. A veteran's eligibility would be determined by a VA provider for that appropriate service. Start off by talking to your primary care provider and go from there. So once your consult is approved for community care, someone in community care will reach out to you to establish an in-network provider that's within an agreed upon distance from the veteran's home, work, or other location of their choosing. It's truly up to you where you go as long as it's an in-network facility. Years ago, I had asked my primary care provider for chiropractic care, and due to a lack of understanding of the program, had been told no. After I started working in the department and understood the eligibilities a little bit more, I was able to explain to the provider that I indeed was eligible, and at that point started receiving chiropractic care. After I got out of the military, there really wasn't much transition assistance. And it wasn't until multiple years later that I really started having an issue with PTSD and anxiety and things of that nature. And it ended up costing me a job. And thankfully, my manager sat me down after he fired me and said, "Something's not right here. Maybe you should go to the VA." And he was right. I'm very thankful for that. VA healthcare has made a huge impact in my life, not only through care here at the VA, but through utilizing the community care program. If a veteran is in need of care, all they need to do is speak with their primary care provider, and if the care cannot be provided by the VA, they'll get you to a community care and find an appropriate provider for you.
Thanks, Tony. Now we're going to talk about enrollment, eligibility, and the PACT Act. Before we get started though, I'd like to remind everybody, we're recording this and we will post it, so you don't need to take notes right now. This is all going to be available online on our website. So with that, Taylor, can you talk about enrollment, eligibility, and the PACT Act?
Absolutely. First, I'd like to lead with the PACT Act. The PACT Act is the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson honoring our promise to address Comprehensive Toxics Act of 2022. It's a major law that is the largest expansion in eligibility and benefits in VA history. Part of this law is really the creation of three main cohorts for veterans to fall into to enhance their ability to access the medical benefits package. Cohort 1 is typically health factors that apply to individuals throughout their occupation that they had while they were serving in active duty military. Those could have been exposures to chemicals, air pollutants, radiation, warfare agents. Cohort 2 is really based on the location where the individual served, and that location is what entitles them to a static eligibility under the PACT Act. Another static eligibility for VA benefits is Cohort 3 if they served as a contingency operation. In addition to those three cohorts, the law also created 20 presumptive conditions, and really what presumptive means is that the VA assumes that link to that condition. You don't have to prove it, which really helps to expedite those benefits for veterans looking to enroll and access VA services. On that contingency aspect of Cohort 3, I really wanted to touch on our reserves and National Guard individuals and how their eligibility is just a little bit different for those who enlisted. For our reservists and National Guard folks, they are eligible when they're called to Title 10 orders and they complete that period of service. That is what enables them to access VA benefits for that period of service. So a reservist and a National Guard can have multiple periods of service based on those multiple activations of Title 10 orders. And that can happen even during peacetime. So really when we think about when we're going to enroll in VA care, what do we need to enroll? Well, you're going to need your DD-214, your discharge papers. For those veterans who entered service in Wisconsin and they don't have their DD-214, don't fret. You can contact your CVSO, and your CVSO is able to access some databases to see if they're able to get that DD-214. Our eligibility enrollment department at the Milwaukee VA can also assist in that as well. You'll need your most recent tax return, your Social Security numbers for you and your dependents, and your insurance details if applicable. All right, so there are many ways for you to enroll in VA care. You can apply online, you can apply by phone, you can apply by person, and this is really important. If you want to download an application from va.gov, fill it out yourself and collect your documents and bring it into the Milwaukee VA, we're located right inside the east entrance. And you can come and drop that application off in person, and an eligibility clerk can determine your eligibility right then and there and figure out what those next steps look like for you. You can also download that same 1010 EZ form and mail it in. You could also bring that form into a CBOC near you where maybe you want to receive care, and then they'll get that to us in Milwaukee where we're able to make an eligibility determination. So I think what's important to realize is that there's lots of ways that you can enroll in VA care, but it's also critically important that you do enroll in VA care. And that's because you might not need this care right now, but this is ultimately a safety net for your entire life. And it's a system specifically designed to serve veterans, and that's really what separates VA apart from any other healthcare system there is. All right, so what happens next, right? Well, after you've submitted your application and we're able to make an enrollment determination, we're going to reach out to you within a week, and really we try to do that as soon as possible so we can get that first appointment scheduled for you and get you really going in with VA care because that's really kind of the impetus of really accessing this great medical benefits package. You'll receive a confirmation letter with all the details and next steps and information you may need, but also really importantly, you're going to receive a benefits handbook. It's going to kind of explain like what copays and priority groups are and a whole host of benefits that are available to you in the medical benefits package. All right, Mr. McLean, back to you.
Thank you, Taylor. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to show one of our veterans and a VA employee She's going to share her experience in enrolling in the VA and receiving services through VA healthcare.
Hi, my name is Darcy Groyle. I am a registered nurse and the program manager for the post 9/11 Military to VA Case Management Program at the Milwaukee VA Medical Center. I'm also a combat veteran. I served a tour in Afghanistan from 2003 to 2004 and recently retired from the United States Army Reserve after serving for 40 years in uniform. Personally, I'll tell you a little bit about my experience with enrolling. I enrolled in VA healthcare following that tour to Afghanistan in 2003 to 2004. I was then at my 20-year mark in the Army Reserve. I was already working here at the Milwaukee VA as a nurse on the inpatient unit, and my program, it was then called the OEF-OIF program, was established in 2007. So I interviewed for a position and was one of the first nurse case managers on the team. It wasn't until then that my colleague, who was a social worker, she was also a case manager on the team, she asked me one day, "Have you ever enrolled in VA healthcare?" And I literally had to stop and think about it, and I said, no. I really hadn't done that. It had been many years that I'd already been serving and years that I had been working here, and I never really even thought about it for myself. My role was to help others and to get other people and tell them how wonderful it was and how we could help them, but yet I had never done it myself. So she prompted me, she got the enrollment form out, we sat down and she helped me fill out the paper. I submitted it and I was eligible for care being a combat veteran. And then she talked to me about filing a claim. And that was really kind of a turning point for me too. I had never ever thought about filing a claim. Oftentimes when service members are leaving the military, there can be various challenges that they face. These challenges can include, difficulty finding purpose or a sense of their identity. I think about people who have served for a very long time in the military. It's a completely different culture, and oftentimes I've heard veterans say that it's really challenging to kind of figure out what's going to happen, with their career after they leave the military. How are they going to be able to transition into a civilian role that may utilize a lot of the skills and things that they learned when they're in the military. Oftentimes it's difficult just to feel like people understand them, so that can pose some relationship issues sometimes with a spouse or children or friends and family, often thinking that people don't understand what they're going through. They don't have anyone to really talk to about what's happening and how they're feeling. I feel like, considering my own experience and the role that I'm in now, that there sometimes are many reasons why people choose not to enroll in VA healthcare or file a claim. And I think some of those things are because when we're in the military, we're strong. It's hard to ask for help sometimes. Oftentimes I hear veterans say, well, I don't really need it that bad. Somebody else probably needs it more than I do. So of course then it's my role to say, you've earned these benefits. You deserve the benefits, and I'd love for you to come to the VA, so let's check into it. One thing about eligibility is that it's a very complex process sometimes, and I only mean that it's easy to actually enroll, but the eligibility piece, I always refer people to the enrollment and eligibility department, because every single veteran or service member has their own story. Everyone has had their own experiences, and it's hard to just say, if this, then that. So we just have to make sure that we have them talking to the right people, get their documents together, and then making sure that they are eligible to receive care according to what their experience was. So just a few weeks ago, I was able to witness the ribbon cutting ceremony for our new standalone Women Veterans Clinic here at Milwaukee VA. It's a beautiful new space that has been created solely for our women. It's just really exciting that we have so many services and things that are going to be available to our women veterans. It wasn't too long ago that the Office of Women's Health was developed in the VA healthcare system. And along with that, they made sure that every single VA nationwide had a dedicated women's health program manager. We are able to really just have the services available for the whole broad spectrum of care for women veterans. So I just want to say overall, I have been so satisfied with all the care that I have been receiving in the Women's Health Clinic here in Milwaukee. And I'm constantly out in the community and urging others to think about enrolling into VA care. At first, again, I realized that it's kind of a little bit of an uneasy feeling. For me, it was a little bit uneasy just because I was still serving and I work here at the VA, so I was a little uneasy thinking that I was going to be getting my health care here. However, my role was to, help people, tell them the good news and get them to come to VA and let them know that we understand you and we want you to be here. So it was so easy for me to tell everyone else to come and, I want to help them with the process, and yet in my own mind, it was difficult for me personally. So I will say that, I feel very comfortable in the women's clinic. The team has been just wonderful at making me really feel at home. It's really just like, it's family. It's family here at the VA. So it's been a really good experience for me.
Thanks, Darcy. Now for some really important information about filing a claim. So once again, from the VBA, Steve,
Thank you,
want to take
sir.
us through that?
Absolutely, sir.
Fantastic.
So, as I had stated earlier, my name is Steve Westfall. I am also a Marine Corps veteran. I am here from the Milwaukee VA Regional Office, and I'm about to speak to you briefly on Veterans Benefit Administration and the benefits that we can assist you with here at the Milwaukee VA Regional Office. Now, the Veterans Benefit Administration supports U.S. military personnel, veterans, families, and survivors delivering benefits that honor veteran service, assist in their reintegration into civilian life, enhance their well-being, and build full trust in VBA. I want you to take special note that if at any time you need assistance from the Veterans Benefit Administration, feel free to give our 800 number a call. You can see that on the bottom of the screen here. Some of the key missions and services the Veterans Benefit Administration offers is that we advocate and deliver benefits. Compensation and pension benefits are by far the most critical and crucial benefits that we offer here at the Milwaukee VA Regional Office. We also offer survivor benefits to veterans and their families. And I want you to take special note of the 800 number at the bottom of the screen there. That 800 number is your go-to line for anything VBA related. We also have the va.gov address at the bottom there. So if you want to take note of that as well, feel free to reach out to us on our VA website. Some of the other key missions and services that we offer are the key is the home loan guarantee. This oversees the VA Guaranteed Home Loan Program and adapted housing grants for veterans with severe disabilities. We also offer education and employment benefits, also commonly known as vocational rehabilitation. We administer GI education benefits, career counseling, and veterans readiness and employment services. As I stated earlier, veterans vocational rehabilitation was the prior name. Some of the other key missions and services are insurance and fiduciary services. And last is our outreach and transition assistance. Outreach and transition assistance is where we engage with service members at key transition points, enhancing access to benefits through outreach. The Milwaukee VA Regional Office has a full team, and we are all here to serve you as veterans and family members. So don't hesitate to reach out. Feel free to stop in at any time. We are located on the Milwaukee campus at 5400 West National Avenue. My team is here to support you and your family. Moving on from key missions and services, I want to read our VBA mission statement. Our mission is to serve as leading advocates for service members, veterans, their families, and survivors, delivering with excellence, veteran-centered and personalized benefits and services that honor their service, assist in their readjustment, enhance their lives, and engender their full trust. You've served our nation with dedication, courage, and sacrifice. Now it's our turn to serve you. The benefits you've earned, whether healthcare, disability compensation, education support, housing assistance, or other resources, are here to support your well-being and your future. If you haven't applied for your benefits yet, we encourage you to take the next step. Even if you're unsure what you may qualify for, we're here to help you understand your options, guide you through the process, and make sure you receive the support you deserve. It may seem like applying for benefits within the Veterans Benefit Administration can be a long and daunting process, but it doesn't have to be. Now, I could definitely lead you down a rabbit hole when it comes to compensation and pension benefits, but I'll keep it quick and easy. I encourage you to seek out your county Veterans Service Officer, or if you would like to apply in person at the regional office, we have some fantastic service organizations such as the WDVA, VFW, American Legion, DAV, and Paralyzed Veterans of America that can assist. Submitting an application can take as little as 30 minutes. Now, in alignment with the VA's core mission, I want to also read this to you. The VBA's mission is aligned with the Department of Veterans Affairs' overall purpose, which is to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for those who have served in our nation's military and for their families, caregivers, and survivors. The goal and purpose of the Veterans Benefit Administration are to effectively deliver and manage vital benefits, including disability compensation, education, home loans, insurance, and employment support, with the excellence and compassion, thus honoring veteran service, helping them transition back into civilian life, improving their quality of life, and earning their trust. Your service mattered. Your benefits matter, and we're ready to assist you every step of the way. I want you to take a brief look at your screen. We have a QR code on the screen. It's important that you take a moment and familiarize yourself with this QR code. Open your phone, scan the QR code. If you want to schedule an in-person appointment or a virtual appointment to speak with one of my guys at the regional office, I encourage you to do so. Let's get you connected. Come apply today.
Thanks, Steve. So we provided a lot of information tonight. I'd like to remind you all that we're going to take this presentation and post it on our social media and other sites so that it's available to you. And if you want to recommend for a friend to watch it as well, it's going to be out there and available for you. Now I'd like to summarize and go over some of the national resources that we have. I'd like to draw your attention to the VA Welcome Kit. This is a great starting point for new or prospective veterans to know what's available to them as they enter the VA. You can find almost everything at va.gov. I'd also encourage you to download the VA Health and Benefits app, which is full of great information, and you can manage almost all of your VA healthcare through it. So if you're like me, you'd like to have some local contacts also. So this slide gives you all of the local contacts you might need to get you set up here in southeastern Wisconsin. There's a link to the Zablocki VA website, which has tons of great information about the exact services we offer, news, events, programs, maps, hours, locations, you name it. If you can't scan the link, just Google Milwaukee VA, and we're the first site that pops up. For all of us vets, the County Veteran Service Offices are a fantastic resource. Those veteran service officers know the process inside and out and can help you get started, apply for benefits, show you how to enroll in VA healthcare, and probably even make you aware of benefits and resources that you didn't know were available to you. We link to a list of veteran service officers so you know exactly who's yours and how to contact them. Also, I'd like to highlight the information for our Zablocki VA eligibility office, especially the phone number, which is 414-384-2000, and it's option 4. And for those veterans who live near Oconomowoc, we've got an even better, more convenient, close-to-home in-person option coming up. Join us at our brand new Oconomowoc VA clinic next week. You can see the details from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Oconomowoc clinic. Come on out, meet a few of us, ask questions, and even enroll on site if you'd like. The clinic is located right off Summit Avenue in Oconomowoc. We have plenty of room for our veterans there, so you can come in and get assigned to a doctor right now. Finally, we'd love for you to join the conversation online. Once again, you can get almost all of the information we presented tonight, including this presentation, right on our website. We're on all the major social media platforms, so like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Our handle is @MilwaukeeVA, or you can scan the QR code and find all those links to all those pages. Check out our YouTube page because we will post this entire conversation on the channel right there. We'll even deliver news and updates right to your email box. If you'd like, scan the last QR code at the bottom of this slide and input your address, and we'll send you an occasional message with the latest and greatest from the Milwaukee VA healthcare system. So for all of my fellow veterans out there, please take advantage of the benefits you've earned. And we'd love to have you enroll and be a part of our Milwaukee healthcare system. Thank you and good night. And remember, recommend this to your friends who may be interested in receiving care from the VA or interested in finding out about more benefits they've earned. Thank you.